On January 8, 2005, a skilled cave diver named David Shaw entered the dark, icy waters of Bushman's Hole, a natural sinkhole in South Africa. This wasn't just another dive for David. He had been here before, attempting to break records in cave diving. But this time, his mission was different and far more personal. David was there to recover the body of a fellow diver, Deon Dreyer, who had tragically lost his life in the same cave 10 years earlier. David's goal was noble, to bring closure to Deon's family by retrieving his remains, but the mission was fraught with danger. Bushman's Hole is one of the deepest freshwater caves in the world, and diving to its depths is an extreme challenge even for the most experienced divers. Despite the risks, David was determined to succeed. Tragically, his mission would end in heartbreak. What actually had happened? Let's dive in to know. Bushman's Hole, also known as Boesman's Gat, is located in the northern Cape province of South Africa on the Mount Carmel game farm. At first glance, it looks like a small, unassuming pool of water surrounded by rocks. But don't let its appearance fool you. Beneath its calm surface lies a submerged cave that plunges to a depth of about 280 meters, 919 feet. This makes it one of the deepest freshwater caves in the world. For decades, Bushman's Hole has attracted adventurous divers who want to test their limits. The cave's extreme depth and challenging conditions make it a magnet for those seeking to push the boundaries of cave diving. In 1996, a diver named Nuno Gomes set a record by reaching the bottom of Bushman's Hole in a dive that lasted over 12 hours. But diving to such depths is not for the faint of heart. The deeper a diver goes, the greater the risks. At extreme depths, the water pressure is immense. To survive, divers must breathe air that is pressurized to match the surrounding water. This pressurized air contains higher levels of nitrogen, which dissolves into the bloodstream. If a diver ascends too quickly, the nitrogen forms bubbles in the body, causing a condition known as decompression sickness, or the bends. This can lead to severe pain, paralysis, or even death. To avoid this, divers must ascend slowly, taking frequent breaks to allow the nitrogen to safely leave their bodies. A dive to the bottom of Bushman's Hole, even if it lasts only a few minutes, can require a 12-hour ascent. Another danger at these depths is nitrogen narcosis. This condition occurs when excess nitrogen affects the brain, impairing judgment and mental function. Divers often describe it as feeling drunk or disoriented. In an environment where focus and precision are critical, nitrogen narcosis can be deadly. The story of Bushman's Hole takes a tragic turn on December 17, 1994. On that day, a young diver named Dion Drier entered the water as part of a dive organized by the South Africa Cave Diving Association. Dion was just 20 years old, but he was already an experienced diver with over 200 dives under his belt. He was also an adventurous spirit with a love for racing cars, motorcycling, and hunting. But this dive would be his last. During his ascent, something went wrong. Dion suddenly lost consciousness, likely due to the physical strain of breathing heavily at such depths. A fellow diver later recalled seeing Dion give a thumbs up just 30 seconds before he drifted unconscious toward the bottom of the cave. Efforts were made to locate Dion's body using a remote-controlled submersible, but they were unsuccessful. His family was devastated, but eventually came to accept that Bushman's Hole would be his final resting place. A memorial plaque was placed at the site in his honor, and for nearly a decade, Dion's body remained undisturbed at the bottom of the cave. Nearly 10 years later, on October 28, 2004, another diver named David Shaw made a remarkable discovery. David was an experienced cave diver and an airline pilot for Cathay Pacific. During a dive at Bushman's Hole, he stumbled upon Dion's remains. The body was partially buried in silt and mud, preserved by the cold, pressurized environment of the cave. David made a brief attempt to free the body, but was unsuccessful. He marked the location with a line and returned to the surface, where he shared his discovery with fellow divers. Soon after, David made the decision to return and attempt a recovery mission. He believed that retrieving Dion's body would bring closure to his family, allowing them to lay him to rest properly. Over the next few months, David and his team meticulously planned the operation. They gathered equipment, coordinated with the South African police, and even designed a special silk body bag for the recovery. David also conducted several practice dives to prepare for the mission. On January 8, 2005, David entered the water at Bushman's Hole for what would be his final dive. Dion's family was present but arrived late to avoid adding pressure on David. The dive began smoothly, and David successfully located Dion's body. However, as he worked to free the remains, he encountered an unexpected challenge. Dion's body, preserved by his diving gear, was more buoyant than anticipated. This made it difficult for David to secure the body in the bag. As he struggled, his breathing became heavier, and the effects of nitrogen narcosis clouded his judgment. Despite the mounting challenges, he refused to abandon the mission. Tragically, the strain proved too much. Just minutes after reaching the bottom, David Shaw passed away, succumbing to the extreme conditions of the dive. The divers supporting David quickly realized something was wrong. Don Shirley, a close friend of David's, attempted to reach him but was thwarted by an equipment malfunction. Unable to help, Don wrote a heartbreaking message on a diver's slate: "Dave not coming back." The team retreated from the cave, and Don suffered decompression-related injuries during the ascent. Though he survived, he faced months of recovery before he could dive again. Days later, when the equipment was removed from Bushman's hole, it was discovered that both David's and Dion's bodies had floated to the surface, entangled in a line. David's ashes were later scattered in South Africa, a country he had grown to love. Dion, after more than a decade, was finally laid to rest by his family. David Shaw had succeeded in his mission, but at the ultimate cost. The story of Bushman's Hole is a haunting reminder of the risks and sacrifices involved in extreme diving. It is a tale of two men, united by their passion for exploration, whose lives were tragically intertwined in the depths of a South African cave. David Shaw's courage and determination to bring closure to Deon Dreyer's family will never be forgotten. His legacy serves as a poignant reminder of the human spirit's resilience and the lengths to which we will go to honor those we have lost. Bushman's Hole remains a place of both beauty and danger, a natural wonder that continues to captivate and challenge those who dare to explore its depths. But for those who know its story, it is also a solemn memorial to the lives lost in the pursuit of the unknown. That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more gripping content.